Our team has sold over a whopping $225 million in premium just last year alone, and over 7,000 salespeople have been paid. Whether you're a single mom, a grocery bagger, work at the junkyard, a successful doctor looking to make passive income, or an executive tired of the 9-to-5 BS, we're here to interview top producers and managers to help you accomplish your goals and dreams.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We got Shawn Meaike with us today. Shawn, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me, bud.
We got Randon Cosme.
Thank you.
And we have Patrick Moreno. So you two have been selling, how much do you sell a month?
A month currently, I'm selling around 50 to 60,000.
And what about you?
I'm doing about 20 to 30,000.
And how old are you guys?
I'm 23 years old.
I'm
Awesome.
23 as well.
So we wanted to get you in with Shawn and try to find out what are some of the common things that you guys are doing to have success, and also how do we help more people, young people, follow these guys and do what they're doing?
Well, first of all, one of the things you got to, and we were saying this earlier before we started. So you're selling how much a month?
On a normal month, anywhere from 40 to 60.
Okay. And on a normal month, you're selling how much?
20 to 30.
Okay. So why do you outsell him?
I just have more appointments.
Why do you have more appointments?
I buy more leads.
Why do you buy more leads and have more appointments?
Because if I buy more leads, I can help more people. And
I understand that. Why? Okay. I'm trying to help you all out, right?
Yeah.
So because you're working with people.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it and he's not at that level?
Because I believe I could do it. So
okay. Do you think he doesn't believe he can do it?
It's just a standard that we set. Each person has their own standard of what they want to do, and then their actions are based off.
Why is he doing more than you?
I would say he has more experience, but truthfully, he's taken more action than I have.
How come?
Because he's been more consistent for longer.
Okay. And why do you think he's been more consistent than you?
That's just his personality. That's just how it's been.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, you said beforehand, you're working on your mindset, working on yourself.
Absolutely.
And by the way, that's anytime you're trying to talk to somebody, dude, it's funny because people go like, man, that was really hard conversation the guy had. I'm like, that's because the guy cares. If I'm doing something I shouldn't, and Andrew's like, man, you shouldn't do that. That's because he cares.
Yeah.
The worst thing he could do is let me do it, and then later go like, I don't know why he did that. I'm like, dude, I was right here. Why didn't you just say that to me, right? So you're trying to get yours right. And when you're working with people, you're not dogging them, but the deal is you want it more than he does right now.
Yeah.
Fair enough? Is that fair to both of you?
Absolutely.
He wants it more than you. Okay. But also you're both doing really well.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the other thing. Like you understand, like we have to do that, but you're both kicking ass, right? What were you doing before this?
I was a barber.
What were you doing before this?
I was a yacht captain, and before that, I just worked at a restaurant as a server.
Got it.
As a busboy.
Okay. What best year in income before you got life insurance? What was it?
For the year?
Yeah.
30,000.
30 grand. How about you?
50, 60.
50, 60. And have you been in life insurance a year now?
Yeah, about a year.
How much you make the first year?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
My first year or this year?
Both.
My first year, I probably issued 100,000.
Yeah.
And then this year did 450.
What did you make the first year? What'd you keep?
What?
Your net.
Probably 20 to 30.
Okay. How about the second year?
The second year was 250, and I
Okay.
probably kept like 80.
Okay. So do you think that's a good return on, you think that's a good percentage, good income, good bottom line?
I definitely think that my return could be higher.
There you go. And it could be higher,
Yeah.
right? So understanding when you're talking about first deal in business is knowing your numbers. And your numbers are, what's my bottom line? Because where people struggle with me was, they're like, you're killing it. I'm like, where's my money? Where's my money? I'm sorry. We worked at a company before. Like, where's my money? They're like, here's your award. I'm like, take your award, bro. Where's my money? I'm making this, but spending this to make this. That ain't going to work for me. So you have to understand that part of it too. And you also have to be very transparent always so people know what you're going through, right? But you're making more than you were making before.
Absolutely.
So now the deal is, how do we get you selling? You're already doing it, 40, 50, 60 grand a month. But also now if you go, what's good in that? Well, if you get paid 400 grand, well, how about this, Andrew? If they get paid 400 grand, what should they want to keep? If in 2025 they make 400 grand each paid, top line, boom, what would you think is a fair bottom line number to keep?
I say 250.
Okay, two to 250 is good. That's a good number. Like I'm not saying like, but 250 would be strong. Would you both be cool to get 400 grand gross and net 250?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd make more money than most everybody your age, and you make more money than most everybody anyway. Because real money, not fictitious social media money. Like, I really make money because people talk shit all the time. Now, the question is, how many people are on your team?
I have 2.
Okay, how many on your team?
50,
50. How many of them are writing?
35,
35. How much your team do a month?
300,000.
Got it. Okay. So see that, but if you have 35, you're doing 50, and you're doing, like, they're not, the average producer's doing 5, 6, 7. They're not doing what you're doing, obviously.
Yeah, there's probably like 5 big ones, and then the rest are in the
Correct.
5,
Correct.
6
Small
range.
ones.
Yeah.
All right. So why have you been, so let's, both of you, because you've been very successful. For all the people out there in their 20s, they're thinking about doing something independently. Did you quit your job? Like, tell them, what did you do? When you started, did you quit your job right away, or you didn't have a job?
I quit my job.
Right away.
Yeah.
Like, how quickly?
I found out about insurance.
Yeah.
I went to one of the insurance offices. I spoke
Yeah.
with a few people.
Yeah.
I asked for receipts because I didn't believe it. I'm going to be
Yeah.
honest.
Correct.
They showed me their bank statements. They showed me checks from annuities that they
Mhm.
had done. And then that same day, I got my pre-licensing. Within 7 days, I passed the test. I failed 3 times in 7 days. I got a 69, a 68, and the third time I got an 85, and then I just started selling.
Okay. You had no job. You were ready to go.
No,
Excited.
I was a yacht captain making like 6,000 to 7,000 a month, like
Got
driving
it.
both.
When did you quit that?
The day I got my license.
Got it. Okay. And how quickly did you get good at sales? Here, life insurance.
Well, I'm personally an overthinker,
Mm-hmm.
so I just started dialing, and my first week I probably made $4,000. So I already knew that I was gonna commit to this long term. But to getting good, I probably took me 3 to 4 months to
Okay.
get the hang of rejection and just the mindset aspect of things.
When you say you're personally an overthinker, what does that mean to you?
I overanalyze the outcomes of everything. So I'll see a potential outcome and then like 3 different things that could happen after.
Okay. And I'm like the biggest underthinker you'll ever meet in your entire life. Literally. Like, I'm Hall of Fame underthinker. Like, I don't even, like, I'm like, it, when people, I'm like, I don't think of, like, what if these 4 things happen? I'm like, what if it works? What if, I'm like, I know, but what if it works? Like, but what if the shit just works? Right? So you were able to put your overthinking aside.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I got to go to work and go figure this thing out. Do you think anybody could sell 40, 50 grand a month?
With the right training and systems, 100%.
Okay.
Now,
Okay. Hear what he just said, though. That's really good. Well, go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
I was going to say, I don't know if anybody can. Do you think anybody can?
I think anybody that has the right attitude and works hard enough can. The training, because that's not on them. Like,
Yeah.
if you go do it, it's because you went and did it. I do believe, to my core, only reason I believe that is I see so many different people from so many different backgrounds, and I'm like, dude, they don't have nothing in common. There's like literally nothing in common. And you're like, why is this one selling 40, this one not? This one's selling 40. So I think that anybody could, but it's a lot of work. You got to invest in yourself. You be able to spend money, which is scary for people sometimes. And it's a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the struggle. As I think that, and you're probably dealing with now recruiting wise, you're getting good at sales and you're trying to get to 40, 50 grand a month, but it's that roller coaster. And when you're an overthinker and that roller coaster starts going down, you guys start overthinking and it makes it seem a lot worse than it is. And I'm like, damn, we've been in a lot worse situations than that. Like, I don't like, no matter what's happened in the day, that's the magic. So I do think anybody could. Do I think everybody will? Absolutely not. But I think anybody could. And I don't necessarily know. I think we have people that overvalue the way they train certain people. Like, well, it's because of his training or her training. I'm like, no, dude, you just went and did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody gave you the basics. You heard some people dial. You dial your own way. You guys don't dial the exact same way. You say what you say. You say what you say. There's presumptiveness. There's all that.
Yeah.
But you're you. You're you. You guys are not the same person. Andrew and I don't sound nothing like on the phone. We both had a lot of success. Like, we couldn't sound differently. Would you agree with that? Could
Yeah.
not sound different on the phone. We have different, the way, everything about us in that regard. But we both had success. So yeah, I do believe anybody could do it.
But you think a lot of people fail because the failure rate is high.
Yeah, well, the failure rate in everything is high. So something like failure rate in like literally everything is high. What I mean by that is most people quit everything.
Yeah.
That means the failure rate's high. So like when you get a job, what is there to quit? I mean, unless you quit your job, but you need your income. But it's really, when you had your job as a boat captain, you had to show up.
Yeah.
Did you actually drive the boat?
Yeah.
Okay. You just can't hit shit with a boat.
No.
But I mean, if you show up and don't hit shit, you're a barber.
Yeah.
I mean, you after a time learn how to cut people's hair, but like, how is there really a failure? You're like, no, not really. I guess this client might not come back. You've had good clients who left you,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
You're like, man, he's so loyal. He's been with me 2 years and he's gone. And then you had some dude you knew who was recruiting your guys going like, come over here,
Yeah.
right? Like, I do it better than he does. Why aren't you over here? And you're like, dude, what the hell? Because it's business.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, I worked really hard. I've been helping these guys out. I hit him up Christmas Eve. I came in to get him, and now he doesn't even care. And a month later, he's with somebody else because he charged him $20 less. Or he plays music, or they got alcohol in the barbershop. But most people quit. How many people become barbers and quit? A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Because
it's not easy.
it's not easy.
Yeah.
And you ain't making what you're making selling an insurance policy. What'd you make on average haircut?
$20.
$20, dude. What was the average tip on $20? You cut somebody's hair $20?
$5.
$5.
Yeah.
So you're $25. How long it take? 30 minutes? Cut them? 20?
30 to 45, depending on the.
So think about that.
Dude,
Good.
haircuts now are crazy. They're
Yeah.
like an hour.
They are because they know. Well, hey, I have no hair. And my barber makes it last 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I just think he thinks like that's, and I give him $200 every time
Yeah.
because that's what I do. And he cuts my hair at least 2 times a week. But I'm like, $400 a week. I mean, he's not doing so bad. You know what I mean? My man's getting $1,600 a month. 12, 18. He's like, just on me, does pretty good. And, it's cash money. But I do. That's why I think it takes so long. I'm like, do I have no hair? Because when I get the little thing and do my hair, I'm like, in 4 minutes, I'm done. And I'm like, aside from the way it smelled and all the stuff he put on it, it fucking looks the same. But, we're making our money. So a good hour, you would have made $40.
Yeah. Depending on the cut, because there's some
Correct.
cuts take longer, but yeah.
So, but my point is like, when you say the failure rate's high, I guess I have to ask ourselves, is it failure if you're a 35, and I'm asking you, if you're a 35-year-old barber, let's use you, nobody else, let's say it you. For you, if you had been a 35-year-old, but you're like, hey, dude, for the last 12 years I've been a barber, and I make $70,000 a year my best year, would you have considered that to be a failure?
No.
No, thank you, no. So, like, the failure rate in a lot of things is pretty high. Now listen, I'm not judging anybody. If my guy's like, hey, do I make $70,000? I don't. That's like, I pay my bills. I'm really happy. I'm not the guy who's like, what if, these guys on social media, like, if you don't make $400,000 a year, you're not a man. It's like, bitch, I will come to your house and knock your teeth out your throat. You're saying that hiding behind your camera and your friggin' podcast. You've never been punched in the face one time in your life, and it's about to start today. That streak's going to end today. But they say that because I don't judge anybody based on what they make or don't make. But I will tell you that we assume it's failure.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It could just be quitting.
yes.
Yeah.
So, so I think as you're building it, how about this for you? Have you struggled believing enough in yourself to recruit people? Has that been a struggle for you?
A little bit, yes.
Okay. And let's say we didn't know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you had met Andrew somehow. And it was like, hey, man, Shawn wants to get in life insurance. He's older than you, but he's made some money. Why don't you recruit him? Would you have been uncomfortable recruiting me?
Yes.
Yes. Why?
Only because I would feel that it would be difficult for you. I'd make the assumption that it'd be difficult for you for some reason.
Okay. And
Rather than-
why?
That's just my mindset going
Yeah.
into it, But that's why I'm learning,
Correct.
and I'm open to learning.
Good. Because here's the thing. You're also trying to, we don't want anybody to fail.
Yeah.
We don't want to lead them to something. And, dude, at the end of the day, the greatest gift you can give anybody is to believe in them. And then when they fall down, and they will in anything they do in life, you got to be there to pick them up.
Yeah.
Like right now, AC Atlas, it's an unbelievable existence. And it will always be. But when they are teenagers and when they have an opinion and when they have choices to make, and you're now like, damn, this parenting thing's a lot of work. You'd be like, dude, I miss just changing diapers. It seems like a lot of work then, but now all of a sudden, and he's going to make mistakes because everybody does. And for me, because I've been through it, is be good to be like, yo, like that happens. And that happens too. And if I don't know, I never went through it, I'm not going to give you advice. I can get you the information. Dude, you got to stop worrying so much about what people are going to do or not do. Do you think if they fail, it's a reflection on you? Or do you think it's like if you recruited me and you're like, man, I think he's going to fail, what are you worried about? That it's a bad reflection on you if I fail or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You know, and it's funny because I had a therapist say this to me. You know, I always do the podcast with Chris Carter. He's like, not court order therapist. I'm like, no, dude, but like a therapist. And said, why are you so worried about everybody perceiving you to be a good person? If you're just a good person, who cares? Like, because we seek that, right? It's like, if I'm doing the right things in life, I'm not perfect, but I'm a good human being. I'm making good. I'm doing the best I can. Why am I worried about everybody and their brother thinking like I can't control that? Dude, all you can do is go, hey, I have an opportunity. Here's how it works, blah, blah, blah. And if they do well, they do well. If they don't, they don't. And I think the thing you have to understand when you're recruiting is if the person succeeds, don't take credit for it. And if they fail, don't take the blame. They're all grown-ups.
Yeah, it's on them.
It's on them.
Yeah.
Just like, and that's where a lot of y'all, though, because I've seen other people sometimes, and I'm like, dude, why are you taking credit for other people's success? He's at a huge business.
Yeah.
Massive. And he's gotten tons of compliments. He's deserved all of them. There's never been one time that he's received a compliment. And I've been like, yeah, let me tell you what I did to help him out. Let me tell you. I mean, man, I'm tell you what, I would never do that in a million years. And
but what you did do a lot to help.
That's yours. That's your. If you want to say that, that's on you. But I don't ever feel that way.
Yeah, but you do know that. Like,
I tried to help the best I can.
Yeah.
But you still did the work.
Yeah.
I just tried to provide, like, but you did the work.
Yeah.
And I can imagine I've done the work and had people take credit for it, and it doesn't feel good. Mm-hmm. If I want to say I really appreciate what you did for me, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I like that dynamic. But it also robs me from being able to say I'm appreciative because you're over there going, look at me. Look, I did it. Like, I did it for me. It's like, no, he did the work. He did it.
Yeah.
And I think that's, so, I mean, don't be afraid to do that. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter how much money they made. It doesn't matter what their background is. It doesn't matter. You're just going to do the business, be a good person. And you are. So you can't overthink it.
Yeah.
So what are your goals in this year?
My goals are to recruit 30 to 50 agents.
Okay. For the entire year?
Entire year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Just because I've never done it before.
That are writing agents?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Writing agents.
How about your personal production? What's your goal there?
I'm trying to get to do consistently 50 to 60.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. How about you, bud?
My goal for this year is to personally produce 400 to 500.
Okay.
I want 100 direct legs, and my top 5 legs I have right now, I want each of them to have 30.
Okay. So this is really good because we don't have anybody at the company as 100 direct legs. That don't mean he can't do it.
Yeah.
That's his goal.
Yeah.
And then you're sharp as shit, can take over the world. You're like, I might get 30 for the year. Bro, that's like 2.4 people a month. But it's funny how you're caught, right? But part of that is, and you're just different, and that's okay. And when you're working with people, go like, sounds good, sounds good. If we're halfway through the year and you're 18 wide, direct legs, and you're like, that sucks. I'm like, that's actually good. Like, you're the one that came up with 100. Like, relax, bro. Like, we love you for it, and we're happy.
Great.
18's great. And then if you're like, man, I want to do 30 or 50, but I exceeded mine. So you might tend to set lower goals where you're like, I want to hit them, I have to hit them. And you might tend to go, they're so out of crazy whack. But if you're going to have real high goals, you have to have a drop dead goal as well. And then I'm like, let's just see how the first month or 2 or 3 goes because you want everybody believing. The thing is, the magic is you want people so excited to work with you that they're excited to work with you. And it's not because you're going to babysit them or you're going to be responsible for their success, because they're excited about who you are. You know, the thing, and also, well, what do you think inspires people the most? If I'm going to be working with you, what do you think I'm looking for? And I think most people are.
Well, what they want.
What are they looking for in you as a leader?
In me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be confident, to be there to help them, and to guide them in the right direction. That's the main thing.
Okay. How about you?
As a leader, what people look for, I feel like a lot of people don't have genuine relationships in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you come from a perspective of seeing what that person is missing in their life and adding value through there and helping them achieve their goals with your mentorship, they're going to be loyal forever because you helped them with something that they didn't have and you helped them achieve something that they think wasn't achievable.
Can I answer?
Go ahead.
What I think, and I want to know what your opinion on what my answer would be, is early on, you need to sell and show them the way.
100%.
That would be my answer. Like, You gotta go close deals and be in the trenches with them.
You definitely have to. And here's the thing: they already have their own concerns and fears. I think they don't. Whether you're fearless or not, they better think you are, because they already have their own concerns. And the greatest way to minimize their concerns is for you to go like, "What are you concerned about, bro? Like, I'm with you right now. Who gives a shit? Like, who cares? We're going to do the best we can. We're going to give it everything we got, and I'm not afraid." Because that's what inspires. When you start coaching, if you coach when your kids are older, because what causes anxiety is fear. Fear of usually something that's probably not going to happen. You know, like, I'm playing basketball, and I'm going to shoot free throws. I miss them, though. Everybody's going to laugh at me. No, they're not. You might miss them, but like, dude, people don't care that much, and half the people can't.
Though.
Yeah, but half the people are in there, they can't shoot anyway. So what are you so worried about? But you get yourself so worked up. And I was talking to this. I mean, I love Ethan. And I've known him since he was 12 years old, and I coached him in 250 basketball games, traveling all over New England and AAU, playing everybody and their brother. You show up, we'll play you. I don't give a shit who you are. Nike this, Nike don't matter to me. We'll play you. Doesn't mean win, but we will play you. And I said, what was the greatest thing I ever taught you about basketball? He said, you didn't teach me nothing about basketball. I'm a baseball and football guy anyway. And I taught him, be honest. And he said, but you taught me to be fearless. I used to walk into those gymnasiums, he said, intimidated. And because there's hundreds of people screaming at the top of their lungs. And what I love about basketball, y'all play basketball?
Yeah.
Basketball's not unlike, I don't care what's about football. First of all, baseball, they don't talk a lot of shit. We don't talk, this is not what we do. Football, you get your helmet on. And hoops, I mean, dude, you're face to face the entire time. No helmet, no nothing. I'm coaching, and you're 3 inches away from me warming up. So what I started doing was going there, making a complete outside of myself. So I'd be like, bro, don't shoot from out there today. And you turn around and be like, who the fuck you talking to? I'm like, you, bro, don't. We're going to let you shoot. I'd be like, hey, guys, let 2 shoot. Look at him. Just watch him. He can't even just shut up. Just watch him. He can't shoot at all. Watch him. It's actually ugly. Hey, do we have helmets? I'd be like, we all got helmets. Hey, who's in charge? You score? Do we have helmets? Because he's shooting. Like, he's going to kill one. I mean, to the point where he's losing his mind. But these kids are like 18. So it's not like they're not 12. You know, like, we're 18. These are grown men. And I'll never forget, we were ready to play this game, and these dudes had 9 guys. Okay? We had 7 or 8. Not unusual for AAU running clock. The coach comes over and goes, where's the rest of your team? I said, this is all we got. He said, do you know who we are? I go, no. They're 5'6'8". My 5 is 6'1". 6'6". He sends the other 4 kids home. He goes, go home. We won't need you. Get rested up for tomorrow. The opening tip, the kid takes the rim about down. I thought he was going to break it like Shaq. Hangs on it and screams at us. He starts screaming at me. So I'm like, all right, I call timeout. I say, here's what we're going to do. There's only 5 dudes. It's hot in here. We're going to run. If God loves us and God wants us to win today, we're going to shoot the lights out. Well, we kill them. We're up 90 to like 70, and they're freaking. They're much better than us. They'd beat us 9. And I'm screaming, hurry up, because I want to score 100 points. They walked off the court. And the coach is talking. I was like, where are you going, bro? Is the game over? Like, what? My point was, you have to be running interference. What Andrew said, selling. They hear you they hear the objections to you. They hear that you're going through it. They see you, and you become the guy that's taking more heat than they are. Because if you're selling more, you're getting rejected more. So if you're running more appointments, you're selling more, you're buying more leads, you have more risk. You're taking away their fears. He's like, dude, I'm not really scared. Look what he's doing. Holy shit, like, I'm not as afraid anymore. He's a human being just like me, and he's just ripping. Even if on the inside you're scared. They can't know you're scared. You're poker face. You play poker? No. Don't play poker, because you'd be fucking terrible. Do you play poker?
No.
You'd be good. Because I'm just saying poker, because you're like spinning, but you can't tell. You're spinning, you can read every ounce of it, because you wear your emotions on your sleeve. Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But in business, you have to be able to find a way to control that.
Wait, but I got a question. So since I've known you, you haven't really been, I've never really actually seen you show that you were scared of anything.
Mm-hmm.
But has there been stuff that you were freaked out about on the inside?
Dude, I'm not trying to be weird, but no. I'm sorry. And I don't mean it like that.
Have you always been like that? Like, is this a learned skill?
I think it's perspective. I think that I learned when I was really young in my childhood and what like, and a lot of us have our own stories. That I watched a lot of people go through a lot of shit. So I'm like, you know what? And like, I love my mom, but with all my heart. But I watched her and the people around her, and I was like, I'll never be that way. Like, I'm never, ever, ever going to let anybody treat me that. I'm never going to do that. And now, Andrew, I've been uncomfortable because I don't want people to fail either. I want them to be okay.
Yeah.
And so, like, when, you know, we were going through stuff and I'm trying to convince Andrew it's okay. If you asked me if I thought when we started with all the stuff we're going through, litigation, the whole, was I fear? I didn't want to let him down. But I was never afraid of me. I'm like, dude, I'm going to figure it out either way. I'll go make money doing something else if I have to. But I didn't want to let you down and everybody else down. But as far as, I think when I start to think about something, because you can only be afraid if you focus on it, perseverate about it. If you dismiss it, you can't be, I don't care what you say. You're like, okay, like they're going to do this. I'm like, okay, they might not. Like, what do you want me to tell you? Like, there's nothing I can do about it. And once you're in it, you're not afraid. Because once you're in the fight, you're not afraid. You know what I mean? Like, if I tell you the dude out in the parking lot, well, how much you weigh?
150 pounds.
150 pounds?
Yeah.
I go, hey, he's the UFC 150-pound world champion. He's going to fight you. Well, shit, if I leave, the worst thing I can do is leave you in here for 8 hours to think about it. Best thing you can do is go, take your headphones off and go do it. Because all you got to think about, it's from here until the parking lot. Because once it starts, you ain't thinking about nothing. You're just getting whacked around. And then when you're done, you're like, I didn't die. And then you're like, oh, shit, I fought him. And then a year later, you're like telling a story that probably didn't even happen. You're like, bro, I fought him in the parking lot of Andrew Taylor's office. He was who was he? Oh, he's a champion, world champion, bro. So my point is, you have to be able to take these things, internalize them, and perseverate. And perseverate on what's going good and what you learned from it, not how bad it could have been. So no. And I'm not trying to be funny.
I feel like I was kind of like these guys when I was their age.
Yeah, well, that would make sense, yeah.
Yeah, like I was overthinking everything.
Correct.
And then getting around other people who didn't overthink everything pulled me away from that.
Yeah, and I think, dude, every strength we have comes with a weakness, right? So when we started getting really big as a company, people like Andrew, I needed them. And I didn't need him as much early on because, dude, the bullets were just flying. There really wasn't a lot to think about. It was like, we're all just out there killing stuff. Like, I don't really need to have all these meetings, guys, and overthink it. But then you get big and you start getting even bigger. And you're like, hey, man, that's actually a good idea. Like, let's talk about that. You've been thinking about that? Yeah, if we did this and this and this, that would work. Okay, sure. So, but you guys are in that early phase of your business. Go out there and sell. He's 100% right. But it's also you're yanking the fear away from everybody. Because you're showing them. How about this? What's the number one reason somebody your age will look at this and go, no, I'm not going to do it? I got my job, make $60,000 a year. I'm 23 years old. It ain't $1 million, but shit, I'm living, and there's no way I would try independent contractor sales. What would be one of the reasons they wouldn't do it?
They're comfortable and they're scared.
Okay. How about scared? Yeah.
They would think it's too difficult.
Okay. And if I'm telling you lead being fearless, now what's a good answer to that? If I'm like, I don't know, dude's 23 years old, he's comfortable, scared, doesn't think he can do it. What's a good answer to him? What should you say to something like that?
You got to make it happen. You got to take action.
What would you say to something like that?
How bad do you want things to change?
Okay. And none of those are wrong. But to Andrew's point with the fear, what do you have to lose? So if I go, hey, bro, I hear you on all that. Got it. You got a million questions. If you get your insurance license, like I get you in a class, doesn't cost you nothing. You pay the state a couple $100, and you have an insurance license that is yours. What is the worst thing that can happen to you with that license? Nothing. But we don't, we tend to try to, we want to motivate, we want to rationalize. No. Just, dude, perspective. What is the worst thing that can happen? If I was asking you to give me $100,000 to get in business with me, I would understand your trepidation. Yeah. If I told me quit your job tomorrow and give me $10,000, I'd understand your trepidation. But get your insurance license? I've never felt bad that somebody got their insurance license and didn't sell. They have an insurance license, learned about insurance, probably bought themselves a policy that they didn't have.
They know more.
They made one sale, they know more. They got their money's worth for a couple $100. They decide to keep it, they keep it. If they don't, they don't. I didn't hurt them. So you have to start to go to that. Everything's perspective. These things happened to me today. And I was always like, but did you die? Like, there's always like that movie. Like, I was saying that well before that damn. I'm like, but did you die? Man, this thing was terrible. I'm like, but did you die? We'd like wake up. I'm like, but we're not dead. Like, we're here. So if you can keep providing yourself perspective and the people you work with perspective, you're going to yank out their fears, which will then motivate them just by default.
That's good advice.
You're super sharp, both of you are.
Thank you.
Super, unbelievably. I mean, at your age, I couldn't present 1/10 as well as either one of you. Not even close. I mean, at all. So you have a lot going for you guys.
We appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you. And it's just a matter of, no, it's like he did it when he was, he got in the business at the age he was in it. But the thing is, he didn't see what he had going for him then.
Mm-mm.
See, when I met him, I was like, he's smart as shit. Then he started talking. I was like, man, I don't know if he believes he can like be massive in this thing. And then when we met, we were competing. So like, I liked him, but I'm like, I'm not going to spend every day trying to breathe life into him. Like, I'm trying to work over here and build a business. But he didn't see it. You don't see it yet. You're getting there. But I'm just saying, like, when you see it, oh my God.
I do have a question for you.
Go ahead.
When you were 23, what was your mindset like when you're our age?
Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, I got to be honest with you, and I'm not going to lie about anything. I mean, at 23, I was still getting high and drunk every day. So my mindset at 23, I was in the real estate business. I was still partying like crazy. I wasn't thinking about self-development. I had a job. So I was working. I had just gotten my job. No, I hadn't even gotten that one yet. So I was doing real estate, doing whatever else, and just trying to find a way to make it happen. It was awful. But what I did have was I knew I would be successful because I knew I was never going to stop working hard. So in the midst of all my dysfunction, I always worked hard. Always. So like no matter what I was doing, even if they were like, man, you shouldn't have said that to that guy, or, you got booze in your breath, or I showed up on time and I worked my ass off. Always, in any job I had. So I knew I had that work ethic, so I held on to that. I didn't develop myself in any other way, though. I didn't have anybody around me either. I'm not blaming them. That's not their fault. But I'm just saying, like, I didn't seek anybody out. Like, when I got into real estate, the people in my office weren't very big. So they were just kind of like, here. I'm like, all right, what do we do next? They're like, I don't know. I was like, okay. So I really had to, that was a lot of it was self-taught. I went to one event, paid money to go to that, learned some stuff there. But it was an awful mindset, dude. I was just trying to do better than I thought everybody in my family was doing, but I wasn't trying to achieve really anything.
Yeah.
So I'm not anywhere near where your mindset was. So also don't be too punitive on yourself too. You're still young.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody that's our age, going through the experience that you had to have the success you have now? What would you tell them to expedite their process?
Well,
or
I mean,
come to the realization.
dude, here's the problem. It's a struggle because 23 becomes 30 really fast. I know you don't know this yet, but it does. And then 30 becomes 35. Right, Andrew? Like, it just so
it
fast.
seems like it just flew by.
It just, so I think figure out at your age what sets you apart, whatever that is. Figure out what your competitive market advantage is, whatever that is. Continue to outwork everybody, or work at least as hard as everybody else. Harder would be better, right? But at least as hard as everybody else is. And dude, it ain't bragging if you can back it up. If you want to market, I mean, I had no problem if Andrew was like, how much did you sell? I mean, dude, I was killing myself. I remember it was one of the years where they would like put these leaderboards out. It was a guy he worked with. And I'll never forget, my son was probably, hell, I don't even know what age he was. He was 7. And I put it on my little refrigerator with magnets, the leaderboard. And this dude was like $8,000 ahead of me going into the last week to be number 1. And I'm like, I can't fathom not being number 1. Like, no part of me can't. And I remember my son going, who's that guy? And I was like, he lives in California. He's like, oh, you got to beat him if he's from California. I don't even know what that meant, but he was like 7 years old. I probably said somebody East Coast, West Coast before. But I wrote like 43,000. Like, I was like, I'm not going to get beat. But that's all I had too. See, what these guys didn't understand is that's all I knew. I didn't feel competent in every other way. I felt competent in my work ethic. I wasn't sure about everything else. So these guys got all these ideas and they're going to market this and we're going to do that. And here's how we're going to set up our tech. And I'm like, I'm just like going with what I got, which is outworking everybody, So I think in your 20s, the things you can do with your money and what you can do with what your money can do for you the rest of your lives is mind-boggling. But you got to go make it. And I wouldn't wait for anybody. I would make more than everybody around me. If I found this at 23 and I was sober, and I'm not saying you got to be, I got to be sober because I would fill this with cocaine. The entire thing. It's spinning around. And I'd be like, that would be it. And I would be all day long because I had problems. I'm not saying if you don't party like that, you don't have to worry about it. But if I was sober at 23, oh my God. Because once I started making that kind of money, $1,000, $1,000 legally, it's a wrap. I don't care how old I was. I don't care who thought they knew more than me. I don't care when I went to school. And that's the other thing. You got to shed all the shit you think matters. It doesn't matter what you think you don't know. It doesn't matter where you did or didn't go to school. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. Because once you, dude, you get in the ring, which is you selling, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. So that'd be my advice to anybody in their 20s. Don't ever underestimate the power of what you can make from 20 to 30 or 23 to 33 and what the power of compound interest can do for you for the rest of your life. You'll get wealthier than that. You can never. When people start in their 40s, it's hard to catch y'all if you work, because the money just works so hard for you. If you have enough money and you get with somebody who knows how to make your money work hard for you, you can't do that when you don't have enough money. When you have enough money, then you can get with people that can, now that you've learned this and you've seen, how did he do that with my money? I'm like, well, that's what they do. That's their job. And you're like, holy shit, my money really works for me. Yes, but you got to make enough of it. So don't take any for granted, dude. And especially at your age. Do you have any kids?
No.
Do you have any kids?
No.
Girlfriends?
I love that. That was a great answer. I only want to know about kids. That's what he does. I'm like, I ain't putting him in that one. But at the end of the day, you have nothing holding you back. And you will one day, I don't mean it not in a bad way, one day you'll have responsibilities that will affect your ability to work certain hours.
Yeah.
You don't right now. That's the time you want to work 2, 3, 4 jobs. I'm not fired up when I'm see a guy working 4 jobs and he's got 2, 4 kids or he's because he never did the work before, didn't find the right vehicle prior to it. So he's got to work these jobs. I don't think you guys have the time to do it now, man. Go work 80, 90, 100 hours a week. What the hell are you doing anyway?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
So a lot of people from solar, door-to-door sales, young people are getting into insurance.
They should be. Do you know why they're getting into insurance?
Why?
Because they're so fucking tired of door knocking with no leads. If you are selling anything without leads, quit. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's gold, bullion. I don't care if it's crypto, door-to-door. I don't give a shit what it is. If you don't have leads, you don't have a career. You will fail. 100%. You can't not fail. And in the world we live in today, door-to-door sales made sense 20 years ago. Dude, with the way people are today, do you think that makes sense? So I think a lot of people are tired of begging people to do shit. They want leads. So yes, I think it pays a lot better and they like leads.
So if someone's watching this, because we get a lot of people that aren't even in insurance yet, how can they reach you guys?
You guys can reach out to me on Instagram at wise.pat, or you can reach out to me via phone. My phone number is 786-209-7347.
How about you, bro?
You can reach me on Instagram, Randon Cosme. It's my first and last name. And my phone number is 786-804-3661.
Love it.
Cool.
Good shit. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, so if you're watching, hit these guys up if you want to get an insurance. We can get you licensed. We'll pay for your class. We can get you through everything. You did it in 7 days and failed 3 times, so don't worry about failing. And we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you for having us.